Married at First Sight UK, Episode 21, Part 1. So we're now on to the final reunion of Married at First Sight UK Series 6. The first two people to enter the building were Megan and Bob. Yes, Megan and Bob. I'm thinking, Megan and Bob? Are they friends? Are they together? What's going on here? Yeah, we're going to have to find out. But it was Megan and Bob. The next person to enter the room was Amy. But where's Josh? Interesting. Where's Josh? Amy's on her Jack Jones by herself. Oh dear. We're going to have to wait and see what's going on here as well. Amy was immediately followed by Taya and Adam. So we know those two are engaged. I don't need to talk any further on those two. Moving on. However, Taya didn't hesitate to ask Amy, why are you on your own? Amy's reply was, we're not together anymore. Yes, that's what she said. What did I tell you? What did I say? From the get-go, those two were not compatible. The next question they asked was, what happened? Her answer was very much, I'm going to need therapy after this. Did I not say that she needed therapy? Did I not say that? The next thing she said was, there was just a lack of effort. She knows her worth. She wants somebody that's going to bring something to the table. And she said she bought the whole table. Yes, she bought the whole table. And she did. To the best of her ability, she did. I told you from the beginning, Josh wasn't in it. He was there to make up the numbers. That's what Josh was there for. He was not there to get married or to commit to nobody. Mr. Playboy needs to stay single and carry on being Mr. Playboy. The last thing she said when talking to the camera was that it's going to be hard to see Josh tonight because she defended him so much, their relationship. I told you. He wasn't worth it. I told you from the beginning. Did you listen to me? No, you didn't. Now she's worrying whether she's going to be able to keep her composure when she sees him. Because I know anger is brewing up inside of her. She's angry. Yes, she's angry. Next to walk into the room was Ant. Yes, Ant, looking very fresh. And he was closely followed by Morag. Yes, Morag. On her own. Yes, on her own. So where's Luke? Another interesting topic. It was Megan that asked her the question, so where's Luke? Morag's answer was, since we left the experiment, Luke hasn't called her once. She's lying. I don't believe a word. The thing is, none of the girls are believing it. They're asking the same question. Luke never phoned you? I don't believe it. Yeah, that's their reaction. Exactly my reaction too. Don't believe a word. When talking to the camera, she did turn around and say, I'm not looking forward to tonight because hearing my side of the story and hearing his side of the story, I don't think the two would add up. Nor do I, darling. Nor do I. So we're just going to have to wait and see what the story is behind this one. The next person to enter the room was Alexis. She was greeted by everybody, including Ant. Them two are actually on good terms. So it seems. So, yeah, I'm very surprised by that one. And so was everybody else. And they did turn around and said, you two would have made a great couple if you got it together. But never mind, it wasn't meant to be. The next people to enter the room were Dan and Matt. Yes, these two are still well in love. Still together, still in love. Not much else I can say on these two. Guess who walked into the room next? The one and only Count Drakita. Yes, Nikita. the one and only, looking like, you know what, I've got no words. Couldn't you put any clothes on? Could you not wear any clothes today? How much more exposed did you need to be? We're not on the beach. We're not at a club. Dress accordingly. The funniest thing is, when she walked into the room, loud and brash as she normally is, and said hello, did you see the reactions on everybody else's faces? Not one person got up straight away. Everybody paused. It was actually Morag that made the effort to get up. Then slowly behind, everybody else did. Ant was a little hesitant. He was the last out of the lot to get up. But otherwise, Alexis didn't get up at all. She remained seated. Yes, she remained seated. She actually didn't hug Ant at all. Then Ant asked, "Don't I get one?" Something like that, he said. And she said, "Oh, did you want one?" And that conversation went back and forth for a little while. And then she turned around and said, "Oh, I didn't think you want one because you blocked me on Instagram." Yes, that's what she said. I thought, oh God, shit, damn. Next thing you saw was Nikita and Morag having a conversation in the corner somewhere, and Morag saying to her, keep your cool, don't go off. And she said, I'm doing my best. I feel like a volcano ready to erupt. That's what she said. This girl is ready for war. Here we go again. No etiquette, I tell you, no etiquette. She continued her conversation with some of the girls about the situation with Ant and Alexis, them going back onto the show behind her back, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. And how she had Alexis back when she's having trouble with Jordan and how she could do this to her. And it went on and on and on. With that being said, you know she's working herself up. We know Nikita. Not sure where this is going to go next. We're just going to wait and see. The next person to walk through those doors was actually Luke. Yes, Luke. He didn't look quite himself, but he was trying to keep a face on. But he didn't look quite himself to me. He did, however, get a nice warm welcome from everybody. You could see Morag felt a bit awkward. I think Morag was the last one he hugged, actually. Yeah. But even when they did hug, there was no real eye contact. He felt awkward. Ooh, not sure what that's about. And straight behind that, it was like, I need a drink. Yep, I need a drink. Woo! My man's sweating. Again, not sure what that's about, but I'm sure we'll find out. Actually, when speaking to the camera afterwards, he did turn around and say he's looking forward to getting on the couch. He's got a lot to say. He feels used, but he's not bitter, he says. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, I think the two go in hand. The next people to come through those doors were Frankie and Marilise. Yep, these two actually look good together. They look very comfortable. So we're going to have to find out what's going on there, or what's been going on there. The next person to enter the room was Jordan. Yes, Jordan. I'm not too sure what type of reaction he expected, but everybody was like quite wincing in their seats, not too sure how to greet him. Yeah, it was an awkward one. Megan's face was like quite startled to think, oh God, it's Jordan. Oh, what do I do next? Bob's face was like, it's you. Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, you're that guy. It was an awkward one. But however, they all greeted him. Even Alexis was quite comfortable with him. She just said hello, gave him a hug, moved on. When it came to Megan's turn, she sort of winced as he hugged her. Yeah, it was an awkward moment. The next conversation that took place was Morag saying, oh, is everybody back together? We're all here. But no, we weren't. We weren't all here. There was still one person missing, and that was Josh. And with his name being mentioned, of course, Amy, you could see, felt very awkward. Very awkward indeed. It was Nikita that asked her about Josh. Would you say you loved him? Amy turned around and said, yeah, I did love him. I'm thinking, really? You actually could say that you loved him? Can't you see the guy was playing games with you? Couldn't you see that? Oh my God, absolutely delusional. She must go into a relationship with her eyes closed. It was actually not long after his name was mentioned that he walked through the door. Yes, Josh walked through the door. Mr. Big Man. Yes, same one. It was Frankie that greeted him first. Yeah, he got all the hugs. Oh dear. When it came to, what's her name? Amy. Yeah, that's her name. She went in for the two-handed hug around the neck, trying to pull him in. He gave her the one-hand hug. Amy, why do you keep trying? Why are you still trying? He's over you long time. He wasn't even into you, let alone over you. Oh dear. Then when he sat down next to Jordan, Jordan asked him a question. Oh, how are you feeling seeing Amy today? He said, yeah, I'm fine. Normal. I'm over it. That's exactly what he said. Over it. No emotions. Nothing. Over it. Then when talking to the camera, he turned around and said, we ended on good terms. How? Amy's telling one story, you're saying another. And goes on to say, with that blasted grin on his face, I can't stand it. I can't stand it. Oh, it gives me the creeps. It cringes me. Anyway, he then goes on to say that she may have a different story to tell. That's virtually what he's trying to say. She may come out with all guns blazing. We're going to have to wait and see. With that blasted grin on his face. Oh, I can't stand it. Ugh. Moving on. The hosts, the matchmakers, then went through the whole wedding ceremonies of each couple to see where they all started from. And now they're going to investigate what's gone on since, or where they're at now. First ones on the couch were Amy and Josh. Mel, the matchmaker, then asked the question, I can see that you two are not together. So can somebody please fill us in? Can somebody please fill us in what's gone on? So there was actually a slight pause to start with. Then eventually it was Josh that started the conversation. I don't even know what he said, to be honest. He didn't even get that far because he paused. Then he asked Amy whether she wanted to say something. Amy said, no, you go ahead. As I said from the beginning, he doesn't instigate shite. He doesn't do nothing. He was waiting for her to speak first so he can intervene in between and say his little piece. But no. Amy gave him the floor. In short, he said he applied everything that the matchmakers had told him to do. Everything was going okay. Even up to the vow renewals, everything was good. Even after the vow renewals, things were good. Then all of a sudden, it paused. He started licking his lips like he always does. He's about to tell a lie. He paused, licked his lips, dry mouth, the whole 9 yards, the usual. Yeah. That guy could never be interrogated. He's that guy that will break at the first hurdle. He will fall at the first hurdle. He doesn't do well under stress, as you can see. I told you he was about to tell a lie. He turned around and said, after the vow renewals, we didn't see each other for about a month. Then Miss Amy piped up to say, no, it wasn't a month. It was 10 days to be exact. 10 days. I told you. He gives himself away every time. Watch his gestures. Watch his mouth. Watch his lips. Watch his tongue. The whole 9 yards. He doesn't do well under stress. He just doesn't. She then continued to say that she went home for 10 days to Cornwall to be with her parents, to see her dog, because she's been on this experiment, on this journey for such a long period of time. She needed time to go back and see her family. Remember, she didn't go home for the vow renewals. He did, but she didn't. So that was her reasoning. She then goes on to say, not sure what happened, just something happened, and that was it. End of story. She then said 10 days is not a lot. If you can lose your feeling in 10 days, then was it effing real? Yep, that's what she said. And I believe it. But the thing is, your eyes weren't open from the beginning. You had your blinkers on. I knew the minute that man walked through that door, opened his mouth, one word that come out of his mouth, I would have told you he was a player. He could have had that word written on his forehead and you still wouldn't have seen it. Oh dear. Girl, you wasted your time. You really did. You should have left weeks ago. Josh then intervened by saying, throughout this process, she kept putting me on the back foot. On the back foot. Hang on. On the back foot. Basically saying she didn't try. She didn't care. How you lie, sir? How you lie, sir? I tell you, he's a blatant liar. Amy's a fool, but he's a liar. Mr. Matchmaker then intervened by asking Josh, when was the last moment that you knew this relationship was over? Josh, like I said, a deer in headlights, he had no answers. Oh, I can't remember. That's his answer, you know. I can't remember. You damn well remember. Yes, you do. Amy cuts in by saying, oh, if you can't remember, can't be that significant then. If you can't effing remember. Yep. Those were her words. Mel the matchmaker then goes on to ask Amy, when you were in the mixer, you turned around and said you loved Josh. She did it in front of everybody here. Now Amy's face is like, oh God, why would you say that? Yeah, she had that cringe in her face. But her answer said, but she turned around and said, yes, I was in love with Josh, but not so much now. She said that she still has feelings for him, but she was afraid to tell him that she was in love with him because I'm presuming she's afraid of how he would receive that. Because like I said, he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. His answer behind that, after being asked how he felt hearing that, was he sort of shrugged his shoulders and then he licked his lips, like I said again, and turned around and said, well, I have a heart, obviously. You too damn lie. You lie. You lie. As he himself says, he's emotionally unavailable. He then went on to say that he gave 100% of himself in this experiment. Now I know you're lying. Now I know you're lying. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Then Amy's response was that she was very shocked to hear this. Yeah, she's in shock. Because as far as she's concerned, he didn't pull his weight. Ah, dear. But like I said, from the beginning, these two weren't compatible. So it was never going to work. It was never going to work. But then she goes on to say the rest of the girls did warn her about him and how things would be outside. Yeah. But you didn't listen, did you? No, you didn't. You had your rose-coloured glasses on. Oh, dear, 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 dear. Amy. She continued to say that As soon as they checked out from the apartments, he checked out of the relationship. Yes, exactly what I expected to happen. Exactly. She then continues to say that coming into this experiment, she thought she'd meet the one. And again, another failed relationship. And she did start getting upset, get very teary-eyed. Yeah. Got emotional. And then Miss Lady Matchmaker turned around and said, Josh, you see her crying, but I can't see you helping here. And he turned around and said, she wouldn't want me to touch her and I wouldn't want to touch her at this time. But then Amy turned around and said, yeah, I would love a hug. Oh, God, this girl. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Why? Why would you even want a hug? Before the matchmaker even brought it up, he was actually sitting there, seeing her cry, blank stare on his face, no emotions across his face whatsoever. Like I said, he's emotionally unavailable. He's that guy. Why would you even want a hug? Why? Like I said in a previous video, she needs help. She needs therapy. And that's no word of a lie. It was shortly after that them two went back to their seats. Amy looking emotional, Josh looking blank, as usual. Nothing new there. I can't say any more on these two. Anyway, moving on. Our next couple in the hot seat were Dan and Matt. These two are in love. They're getting on with life. They're being very fluid with their relationship. They're falling deeper in love with each other as the days go on. They haven't set a date in regards to when they're going to settle down or where they're going to settle down. At the moment, they're still doing the back and forth. Matt spending time in Northern Ireland, Dan spending time in Leeds, and we're just going to see how we can maintain that for a little while until making any final decisions. So, and then the baby issue is still on the cards. They're going to take their time with that. I still have my doubts here. I do. Even though they say they're in love. Yeah. I still have a little doubt and a niggling doubt in the back of my mind whether it can last. I don't dispute they're in love. I don't dispute that. It's the whole point of the location of where they're going to base themselves and the time frame of when they want children. That's going to be the decider. So as far as I'm concerned, it's still up in the air. So their interview was short and sweet. Not much else to be said there. Moving on. The next couple in the hot seat were Nikita and Ant. Yep, Nikita and Ant. This is going to be interesting. And already the jabs have started. On her way to the seat, Alexis was clapping. Nikita's reaction to that was, I don't know why she's clapping. Oh! She's already started. Oh my God, this girl. Oh dear. Oh, here we go. It started with Paul, the matchmaker, saying that your wedding, you look like you had a good time. And they both agreed, initially. And then they went on to the honeymoon. Nikita went on to say that they had a good honeymoon. They may have had one or two arguments, but overall, they had a good honeymoon. Now, Ant's take on that was very different. He said it was the worst time. No, he can't recall any good moments. That's what he said. Yes, he did. And I'm sorry, I have to agree with Ant. I can't recall any good moments. I don't. And then going back to the wedding, he turned around and said, we weren't really a good match. Yes, that's what he said. Mel, the matchmaker, then went on to say to Ant, it's clear from the beginning that you knew Nikita wasn't the one for you, but you did have your eye on somebody else, didn't you? Ah! Yes, that's what she said. That's what she said. She made out like he had the hots for her from the beginning. I'm thinking, oh, hang on, where are you going with this? And then they showed a clip of him and, what's her name? Alexis at the dinner table. I think that was the same night that Nikita went off. Yeah, she's leaving. Yeah, that's situation. Oh, dear. So they were flirting with each other. So that's the bit they showed. So it wasn't as big and dramatic as she tried to make it out to be. It really wasn't. It was after watching the clip of that video that Nikita turned around and called Alexis a snake. Yes! She called her a snake. Yes, she did. An effing snake, to be exact. An effing snake. Yes. Yes, she did. For someone that was supposed to be her friend, she's an effing snake. Alexis' answer behind that was, you are not my friend. You are not my friend. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. Have I lost something here? Where are we going with this? This is not making any sense to me now. Did they fall out? What's going on here? The next thing Nikita said was, she did ask Ant before whether he liked Alexis or whether he fancied Alexis. And he turned around and categorically said no. That's what Nikita said. And if he turns around and tells you anything different, he's lying. That's really what she said. Yes, she did. Throughout that whole back and forth, these two are just giving each other the evil eye. Nikita and Alexis. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Side eye. Staring each other out. The whole 9 yards. It was at this point that Jordan decides to input. He turned around and said, if two people don't match, like me and Alexis didn't match, you and Ant didn't match, if the two want to come together, I don't see the problem. That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. Yeah. Sounds a bit like him and Megan, doesn't it? Yeah, that situation. Oh dear. Nikita then turned around and said it's more about the girl code thing. Yeah, she broke the girl code. And I had her back when it came to her and Jordan. Then Alexis turned around and said, but you weren't my friend. And I thought, what? Am I missing something here? Well, to be perfectly honest, I won't call somebody a friend that I've only met a couple of weeks or a few weeks. No, friends to me are people that have grown with me. Those are my friends. Those are the people I call friends. Friendships I've had for years. Those are friends. Everybody else is an acquaintance. That's how I would describe friends and acquaintances. Paul, the matchmaker, then went on to say to Nikita, if there's one thing that Alexis can do to make this situation better, what would it be? Nikita then said, well, I know she won't apologise. But then Alexis turned around and said, that's how I know you don't know me. Yes, that's what she said. That's how I know you don't know me. And she actually did say this when she was speaking with the girls earlier, that she'd love to resolve this, draw a line under the carpet with it all and leave here as adults. That's exactly what she said. And all the rest of the ladies were able to verify that for her. Nikita did feel a little bit of an idiot at that point, but she did quickly turn around and said, I don't hate you. And so did Alexis. I don't hate you either. But I will apologise and say sorry for making you feel the way I did. That was it. End of story. We didn't need to go any further than that. Alexis did turn around and say to Nikita, look at me. Yep, that's exactly what she did. Made her look at her. And then she turned around and said, I am sorry. Then Nikita turned around and said, what are you sorry for? She then said, if I've hurt your feelings, if I've broken girl code, or I've betrayed you, I am sorry. She then went on to say, do you accept my apology? There was a slight pause before she did accept the apology. Alexis then went on to say, none of us want Ant now. And she said, no offence, but none of us want Ant now. Everybody laughed and it sort of broke the ice. These two then made up by giving each other a hug. Yeah, nice big hug. But one thing I will say about Alexis, when she's wrong, she will admit, she'll fess up to it and apologise. She's that girl. I like her for that. I really do. And that really was it. That was the end of that situation. Not much came from Ant. It became more about Nikita and Alexis. So, yeah, that's the end of that one. But on that note, I'm going to leave it here. And I'll come back with part 2 in the next day or two. So in the meantime, if you've liked what you've heard, please like, comment and subscribe. Till next time.